This meeting is being recorded. Yeah, I love it. Right. Hopefully everything's set up. Yep, it's taking the sound. Sure this. Yep, it's picking that up. Just make sure our settings are good. Audio settings. Blah blah blah. Yep, looks good. Oh, looking amazing. Perfect. Recording. Full screen. Okay, we're all set. Welcome to Fiery Friday. Okay, let's start with a visibility prayer first. There's your eyes. May the energies contained here within this Fiery Friday portal be fully protected by Source, Great Spirits, and Ascended Masters. May what is shared here be brilliantly visible to those hearts and souls ready to receive this, and those who are actively looking to open-heartedly connect with their dragon spirit. Great Spirits and Ascended Masters, make this message invisible to people or spirit that is not ready to hear this message with an open, unconditional heart. Amen. So be it, and thank you. A slight protection, or a big protection mantra. I invite only beings of highest light who love us unconditionally. I invite beings of highest light who love us unconditionally. I invite beings, only beings of highest light who love us unconditionally. And a couple of goddesses here. Dear Goddess Isis and Goddess Wadjet, please protect the energies, portal, intentions, and all beings who journey within this portal. Let it be through all dimensions, time and space, and so be it. So who am I? I'm Kevin Humphrey. I was born in England, and at an early age, lions were the things that used to come to me when I was ill. So I'd be laying in bed and had a fever, and at the end of the bed was the hallway, and then the landing, and then the stairs sort of went down and around to the left, and I'd be laying in bed, and I'd just feel this presence, and then I'd see this huge male lion charging up the stairs, and then it would come to the top of the stairs, it'd go around the corner, its mane would rub against the wall, and it would literally jump at me like ready to bite me and kill me. And I was like, I'm dying. And he says, put the duvet over my head and think, that's right, that's going to save me. Cool. As if it would. But it never actually landed. It was very strange. And I used to see other things. Mum said, I don't remember it, but Mum used to say I saw heads of horses and things like that. And I definitely saw my dad's shoes walk on their own across the corridor. Anyway, as you grow up, you sort of lose those things, don't you? And it's many years later before I started getting back into that sort of thing. Well, actually not until nearly 50, really. And my path has led me down the route of we've got horses, and they're getting mature and starting to ache. And somebody said horses really like Reiki. I was like, what's that? And it's like, oh, it's an energy healing. So I went on a training course of a beautiful lady called Debbie, and went through Reiki 1, Reiki 2, became a Reiki master. Then I went through onto Rahanni, celestial energy healing, and then into the shamanic remembrance. And that's where my drum comes in. And I've got this beautiful drum, which we're going to go on a journey with later. It's called TheLady, and she was commissioned for me in Finland, and we birthed her on Dartmoor in one of the ancient circles there, sort of 5,000-year-old stone circle, and we created a portal there to the lower realms where the dragons are. It's where we're going to meet our dragons. So are you ready to meet your dragon? Let me first say, why dragons? Why am I interested in dragons? It all started, it was actually, I've got it written here, the date, 22nd of April 2017. It was a Saturday. It was a cool day, but it was sunny. It was spring, and I was at Dry Lee's farm, and I was going for a ride on my beautiful horse Favour. I'm a human, and have been for many years now. I mean, she's 26, and she came into my life when she was 6, and we've been out many rides. She's a big big solid girl. She's not afraid of anything, and we've done this ride hundreds of times. So we're going down towards the gates, and there's this little sort of, not valley, but there's a gap where there's fence either side, and it goes through to a huge big field where we go for a gallop. And we come up to the gate. As we got to the gate, she was a bit sort of standoffish, a bit back-offish, and she wanted to go backwards, and she never wants to go backwards. I was like, she's obviously seen something. Maybe something in the shadows. She thinks there's a tiger hiding behind the bush or something. So rather than force us to go through, I just went the long way around and went for a gallop, had a charge around, and had an amazing fun for half an hour, 45 minutes. And then we sort of started walking back. And to get back home, you have to go the opposite way through this gap between the fields. And as we got there, she was like, I'm not going through it. Again, she wouldn't go through it. I had a look, I couldn't see anything. There didn't seem to be any shadows that should be scaring her. Yeah, so I went the long way around again. And then I thought, honestly, maybe we should go and have a look and see it from a different angle. So we came round and we attacked it sort of from the straight on the other side of it. So it's running in front of us now. We would normally have gone from here to here or from here to there on the way back. So we're looking at it. I couldn't see anything. I mean, there's a few low bushes and there was some sheep in the distance, but nothing to be seen. Nothing that should scare her. And something in me sort of said, well, maybe there's something you can't see and she can, or senses, or whatever it is. So I sort of bit pitifully sort of like, who's there? And then something in me said, be a bit braver, be a bit bolder. So I was like, who's there? Show yourself. Yeah, waited. And then something shimmered to the right of us in the field. There's a fence, then a gap, but we would normally go down, then the fence, then the field, and something shimmered. I was like, what's that? It looks, couldn't quite tell, and it shimmered, it went up. I was like, that looks like a tail. And then it went up to what was a back, and then a hind leg, then like it's a wing. Then it moved along, and there's like a neck and a front leg, and up to this huge head. And this whole thing's like the size of a double-decker bus. Massive. But it's like see-through. It's got like, it's shimmery. It's almost like water and but floating in the air. It's really strange. So you could see straight through it, but you could see the outline, and it just looked at us. And as it did, Favour's just like, I've had enough. She did a 180-degree turn. I'm looking at it thinking, whoa, is it going to chase us? It didn't have any ill intent though. But Favour was out of it. She just galloped home basically, and all the way back to the gate. And when we got to the gate, we somebody let us through, and I didn't tell anyone for like 3 days that I'd seen the dragon. I thought they think I was a nutter. I told my coaches at the time, and I actually posted it on Facebook, and it was like radio silence. I thought, okay, fair enough, let's forget about it. And it wasn't for a couple of years until I met Debbie, who then did some shamanic healing, and she brought in her dragons. I'm like, someone else has got dragons, and then that's where it started. And I've been on a journey. There's 3 dragons in my life now. So there's Agatha, Sophia, and Georgie, all 3 types of dragon, and they're sort of just part of my life, like I don't know, like pets would be, but they're not pets, obviously. There are like 4 types of dragon. There's earth dragons, fire dragons, water dragons, and air dragons. That's sort of the elements. However, there's some that's sort of a mixture, and you might say, I don't know, fire dragon. It could actually be a lava dragon. A water dragon could maybe be an ice dragon. So you've got different variations of it. And yeah, I mean, you'll get to meet yours, and I say treat it like a first date. It's just, all you're asking in this first date is their name. If you're quite forward, maybe go for a fly. Let's see how it goes, and you'll have an experience with them, and you can go on more journeys to meet them. And you get to the point where they're in your life all the time, and you can use them to protect you. There's nothing more powerful feeling than knowing that you've got these dragons behind you protecting you or in front of you. And I often, when I go on a journeys, I imagine that one's in front, one's above, and one's behind, and sort of keeping me safe and clearing the traffic and the rest of it. And I joke that so far I've not seen any burnt out cars because they've fired them out of the way. Anyway, so let's go through, and what I'd like you to do is just stop for a moment and breathe. And I'd like you to do some dragon breath. So what you do is you get your feet good and solid in the ground. Imagine that they're connected to the middle of the earth like solid oak trees. Just relax your shoulders and your arm, and just get your imagination, get it into your heart. I want you to take 2 sniff breaths in like this, and then fire it out like it's flame. So It might sound a bit silly, but it's good. It's a good way of getting yourself centered. And if ever you're feeling a bit sort of overwhelmed, just try that. And anytime you want to meet your dragon, just do that. It's like getting you into dragon energy. Anyway, try that at home. So the journey to meet your dragon. What I'll do is I'll walk you through a process, and it'll take you to a safe place, and then we'll set the intention that your intention is to meet your dragon and ask its name. Everything else after that is like icing on the cake, cherry on the top. If you can get to go for a fly, you can have a chat with them, great. At the beginning, some people only see an outline or just feel a presence for a dragon and don't necessarily see the whole dragon. And your dragon could be huge, or it could be a little thing like a small lizard. And dragons aren't always the ones you necessarily see on TV. You know, you've got to think of the Chinese dragons. They could be more snake-like, they could be lizard-like, they could be like a sea creature. You know, don't have it in your head that it's got to look like one of those archetypal dragons. Anyway, so I'll guide you then to a place where there's a portal, which is where the John was birthed, and there's a stone circle there, and we'll go there in our imaginations. There's also the option, if you want to come with me to Devon, to Dartmoor in the UK, in Europe, on planet Earth, to actually go to the physical place, and we can do the ceremony there, and that's an option we can talk about afterwards. So what I'd like to do is I'll guide you down to this location, get you settled in there, get you settled against your own stone that you like. And then what I'll do is I'll open the portal, and the portal will be a spiral staircase of stones. There's nice big wide stones. It's very easy to walk down, and there's not, you know, there's no danger. And when you get down there, imagine it as a cartoon world. This world is safe, totally safe. Everything and anyone that you meet there has just fun and love and joy for you. It's a safe place. So I imagine it's like a cartoon, because you could be on a cliff, you could jump off a 100-foot cliff and you'll land on the ground and make an indent, but you won't physically be hurt. And if you do physically get hurt, if your head falls off, you can just pick it back up and put it back on. Or your arm falls off. It's that sort of thing. It's completely safe. It's like a dream world, and everything down there is for your good. And that's where you'll meet your dragons, and you can just have some fun there. So you might see a number of different dragons. I say Sophia is a creamy air dragon. Agatha is a dark brown earth dragon, and sometimes she goes very rainbow colours, a bit like the colours over there when she's wet, a bit like, you know, oil when it's in the water. And then Georgie is very dark, and he's a fire dragon. So, and I'm Pisces, water based, so we've sort of got all the elements covered. And as I say, I'll be playing the drum, which sort of does a beat like this, or it'll be just sort of gets your mind into the mode, and you just listen to the beat. And when you go on the journey, that's what we're playing. And then we'll do that for maybe 10 minutes, and then what I'll do is I'll do a recall, which basically it's just saying come back. I'll do it for a minute, so there's no rush. And down there in the lower realm, time and distance are completely different. So you could basically teleport all the way back to the bottom of the stairs and walk up. You can fly back. You can get back in, you know, a minute easily. So if you spend 10 minutes going somewhere, you can easily get back within a minute. So there's no worry, okay? And the recall will sound something like this. Bit manic. Come back, but don't rush. Say your goodbyes and thank yous and hugs and all the rest of it, and say get their names and telephone numbers and the rest of it. It's a bit like a first date, so make sure you know how you're going to meet for the second time, because you will want to meet for the second time, third time, and hundreds more times. So, are we ready? Okay, let's get all the way down to here. So what we're going to do is we're going to travel to Dartmoor, and we're going to walk there as in our imaginations. So what you need to do now is lay down, sit down, however you feel comfortable. It's a very good idea if you've got something to cover your eyes. You don't want to be disturbed, completely relaxed. So I'll give you a moment to get in that position. In the meantime, I'll drink some of my water that sort of says beautiful things on it. I say I love it, and it's hydrating, and say lots of good things to your water. It's a really good idea. That's good. Okie dokie. So if everyone's laying down, let's get going. Everyone ready? Okay. You are in England, in the southwest, where the land is green and pleasant. The sea is close, and the north coast is lined with rugged coves and mighty cliffs. However, we are inland some 30 miles on the fringe of Dartmoor, which is a large, hilly green and brown moorland. The air is fresh and clear, and you can smell the distant sea just about, and the surrounding forest, and you feel a beautiful sense of freedom and magic in the air. Certainly magic, mystery and miracles abound round here. I'm sure fairies live in the woods, and dragons have flown over the moors for millennium. And I'm sure there's been many a witch on her broom flying across. The dragon ley line runs from Land's End through Dartmoor to Glastonbury and on to Stonehenge, and this is a truly magical and mystical land, and has been for millennia. Dartmoor alone has 17 ancient stone circles where ceremonies have been taken place for thousands of years. Many of those are sort of 5, 6, many thousands of years old. I want you now to imagine we as a group have congregated at the local village green. We've all walked from the local village bed and breakfast and Airbnbs, and those of you with abundance codes have been staying in the local manor house with its impressive 150 acres of grounds and all the opulence that will give. Anyway, we also have a trusty and slightly rusty Land Rover for those of you that don't want to walk, and of those of you that do want to walk but would like to have your bags carried. So that's there for you. You are dressed for a walk. You have your walking boots on, all your hiking clothes, maybe your walking sticks, and we are ready for the wet weather that often comes in suddenly over the hills. But today, it actually looks quite sunny. It's quite warm, actually. And as I say, if you find walking hard, please get on board the rusty, trusty Land Rover. Okay, let's get going. As a group, we walk a few minutes through the village. It's one of those beautiful sort of stone villages with little cottages, and the cottages have those thatched roofs, and it's one of those places that's won the sort of garden of the year type place. Lots of flower pots hanging around, and it's early spring, so there's a few bees and a few butterflies. Okay, so we're heading off. Dartmoor is a vastly hilly moor, and the River Dart meanders through it, so it's very green, and some places a bit boggy, but we're okay because we're going to take a track. So we open a gate to get around a cattle grid, walk along the grass. We walk alongside a low stone wall. The road next to us is actually one of those sort of single track places, and it's littered with potholes. So those of you in the Land Rover are going to get a bit of a bumpy ride. There's sheep everywhere. The sheep roam here quite happily, and there's a few of them sort of bleat at us and move out of our way as we walk along. The views from here, as we slowly walk up, are gorgeous. Before us stretches a wide expanse of brilliant green, split into fields with little, hedgerows and stone walls. And there's a little bit of crops. So, the farmer's been out. So it's just a patchwork. You can see very few trees dotted around. And as far as you can see, there's just like sheep everywhere. And some of you with very keen eyes will see the ponies that are on there. So the Dartmoor ponies. We walk a little way, and we walk up and turn right. And to our right, we can see a reservoir. It's quite a large reservoir, and it's feeding the local villages. If you look up, you can see and hear a V-shaped flight of geese flying over us, just flying across the water, happily squeaking and shouting at each other. We wander along the track until we reach another cattle grid. We are getting further and further into Dartmoor. All you can see around you is sheep. So we wind our way along the north end of the lake and turn left through onto a bridle path. The going here is getting quite steep, and some of you will be puffing, I'm sure, and those of in the Land Rover are looking very smug. We walk through now an ancient woodland, and you can hear a woodpecker in the distance headbutting a tree. And every now and again, you might see some deep. Sorry, you might see some. Every now and again, you might see some deer deep within the forest. A whole family of them, camouflaged. Our exertions are rewarded as we turn a corner, and to our right is an open flat area, a triangular shaped piece of grassland. It's nestled between the woods, and you can see there's a circle with lots of stones in it. Some of them maybe 1 or 2 foot high, some of them 3 or 4 foot high. We stand now not far from it, about 100 feet from it, and there's 2 stones standing like they're an entrance. I want you all to take all of your things that you don't need to carry in there. Just carry your blankets in, put everything else that you don't need on the back of the Land Rover, so you're free to move. And one by one, I'd like you to walk slowly the 100 feet to the centre of the circle. And then, in a clockwise direction, let's all in single file walk around the circle of stones. It's about 50 feet across. There's enough stones there for each of us to find our own. So find your own and sit down on the grass. The grass is dry. Lean against your stone and just breathe. Get very comfortable. I'm going to be here for a little while. It's a safe space. Actually, the air has got quite warm now. The rain's keeping away. And if you listen carefully, there's actually an owl hooting in the distance. It's because we are just coming to the end of the day. The sun will probably set in about half an hour or so. Okay, so we are here at the Axis Mundi. What I'm going to do now is start playing the drum, and that will open the portal. When I give you the signal, imagine yourself walking down the steps, and when you get to the bottom of the steps, you'll be in the lower realms, and in the lower realms you will find your dragon. You may see a landscape that's full of greenery. You might see a desert, you might see a cave. It'll depend on your imagination. It depends where your dragons want to meet you. They're all being asked to come and meet you, so they're waiting there now for you. So just remember that the reason you're going down is to meet your dragon and to learn their name. So when you're traveling down here, you may find lots of other things to distract you. Concentrate on that one thing. Your intention is to meet your dragon and find out their name. And remember that I'm going to play the drum for about 10 minutes, and down in the lower realms it may seem like much longer. And then I'll do a recall for a minute. So come back up the steps, come back to your body at the stone, and then we'll return from there back home and back into where you are now. So I want you all to just relax. Breathe in through the nose, deep in, pop your belly out. Then let it out very slowly. Breathe in through the nose, pop out the belly. Breathe it out very slowly. Breathe in through the nose. Hold. Let it out slowly through the mouth. Okay. We're ready. The portal is opening. Remember, your intention is to meet your dragon. Find out its name. We'll go for 10 minutes. It may seem a lot longer. So get ready, start walking. Start walking down the steps to meet your dragon. Find out its name. Come back when you hear the very fast beat. Enjoy. slowly, slowly, slowly return to your bodies. No rush, no rush. Back into your bodies. Back at the stone. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your fingers. Wiggle your knees, wiggle your hips. Stretch your back. Roll your shoulders. Spin your neck. Open your eyes and your jaw, your forehead. Welcome back. Welcome back. Trip back's a bit faster. Let's all walk out slowly from the circle, giving our respect as we leave to the portal. Let's all get on the Land Rover. Maybe a bit of a squeeze. All the bags are on the roof now, it's fine. There's some pleasant music on, and we're driving back. Back. Over the cattle grid. Past the sheep. Over the next cattle grid. Down the single winding little track road. There's no one else around, just sheep everywhere. Back to the village. Disembark, get your bags, and return slowly, thanking each other for this pleasant little trip. Say your goodbyes, return to who you are now in this moment. And welcome back. I hope you met your dragons or dragon. And if you didn't, remember, it's like a first date. Maybe they didn't turn up. Maybe you need to go on another one. There's a link below this, and I'll send it to you individually. And it's a link to a free access to this course. It's been codified into Kajabi, and you can access it whenever you like. You can go through from the beginning, or just go on the journey part of it and use it, or just go and journey yourself. Play some drum music. There's lots of it on YouTube. And go meet your dragons. Go on a second date. Find out how they can help you in your life, because they're there to assist you. And do use them. Use them when you're feeling a bit weak, a bit vulnerable, a bit lonely, a bit scared. Use them to boost you and to protect you, because they will. They will. Anyway, guys, thank you for your time. If any of you are interested in hearing more about what I do, my Reiki, my Rahanni, my shamanic journeys, meeting your dragons again, please tap me up. Happy to do one-to-ones, do group calls. And as I say, looking to take people actually physically in person to the top of Dartmoor and to the magic circles. There's a few that we can go to. We can definitely go to the one we just walked to in our imaginations. It will be a walk. There isn't actually a Land Rover at the moment. So yeah, you need to be sort of fairly fit and able. However, eventually there will be a Land Rover, a rusty one probably. So we can take people that are less capable of walking or a bit lazy. Anyway, thank you much for your time. Peace be with you. And I'll see you all soon. Thank you.